Hey guys, welcome back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, hosted by me and my cousin Sebastian.
Hi.
And what is this, our fifth?
Fifth or sixth?
Fifth?
I'm pretty sure it's fifth.
I think it's fifth, episode 5 of the MCU Podcast. So far we've already done
Trivia.
the first 2 Iron Mans, season 1 and 2 of Loki,
And
thoughts of Deadpool 3.
Deadpool 3.
And theories and rumours around that.
Oh yeah, we've got
and that's
new
3 parts
insights
of,
on that too.
Yeah, and then so 3 parts of trivia, which we will do more. We need to figure out who else we're doing for that. But yeah, so now we're moving on to one of the either one or all the Avengers movies.
I feel like the
Secret
Avengers
Wars or
movies.
the reviews. Yeah, so I think we'll do the reviews and we'll do Avengers Secret Wars after.
Yes.
So the first Avengers, unfortunately I've already delayed my review, so I can't remember my thoughts on it. But I think that I have given it like an 8 out of 10, but it's a weaker 8 out of 10. I think it's a little bit dated.
I'd probably say maybe a 6.5. A strong 6.5.
Yeah.
But like a weak
A strong
7.5. I'd say.
A strong 6. It
A
would be.
strong 6 and a weak 7.
Yeah, because I think that don't get me wrong, it's good. I like it, but I think that it's a little bit dated.
It is definitely.
Even though that it's better quality than the original Spider-Man movies, which I love, in the original X-Men movies and that sort of stuff. But I think because you get things
and the original Avengers movie.
Well, exactly, but even then, I think that that's better quality than the X-Men and the Spider-Man movies, even though I love those movies. But I think that when you get into things like Age of Ultron, Infinity War and Endgame, they're more rewatchable quality.
Yeah, because I don't know, when I talk about Avengers, a lot of people say that they don't really like Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
And they probably like the first one better. I do not think that, because number one just didn't have that kind of, I could watch it once and be like, oh, that was good, and then never watch it again.
And then rewatch the other 3 that came out after that, going like, oh, these are like 9 out of 10s and one's a 10 out of 10.
They have so much detail that you don't notice.
Yeah.
And
I think that's the thing, because the first Avengers, well, we'll start with the first Avengers and we'll move on to the others, but I think the first Avengers, I think that there are a lot of stuff in that movie that Ruru works. I think that the whole hypnotization of Loki and Hawkeye and Selvig, that works very well, and the introductions to all the characters of Iron Man plugging his Stark building and all that. And
there's some stuff I do not like though, which is the full collapse of that area. I feel like that's a bit over the top.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the Battle of New York?
No, not the Battle of New York. At the start when the base collapses.
Oh, that does go for a bit. That's a bit like.
It's a bit too long, and it kind of doesn't really make sense when you're first watching it. Yeah,
but it does have that awesome build up to the. Chris was like, Coulson's on the walkie-talkie Nick Fury. He's like, oh, what do we do? It's like, we put together a team, and then you hear the Avengers theme, and then the Avengers title comes across, going bum 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 bum. And then you go to the Black Widow scene. And then she's just kicking ass over there on the phone to Coulson, going like, oh, we need you. It's like, where's Biden? Oh, it's like, oh, he's not here at the moment. It's like, well, where is he? Oh, you got hypnotized by Loki. It's like,
what?
It's like, what? So
what in the world?
I think that the first Avengers is the worst Captain America suit.
It's too light blue.
Looks like pajamas.
Yes, it's like light blue.
Yeah, it's like pajamas with a helmet on it.
You see the...
Which the other ones are
I don't know if you can see, but you see the M sign just on the back here? It's that blue.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be.
I think it's a bit more darker than that, but yeah,
It's light.
It's lighter than the other suits that he has.
And it just doesn't fit the shield either.
No, I think that's a bit weird. But which I think that the Winter Soldier suit makes it like merges the dark and the light blue very well with the light blue on the shield and then the dark blue on the suit.
Yeah.
But I think that there are a lot of cool scenes. Like you mainly get the first Avengers from memes.
Yeah.
And like, what if this happens? So it's like, we keep joking around how we keep wanting Tom Cruise as Iron Man, but it's like, imagine if it was Tom Cruise, except for getting shoot to thrill when Iron Man hacks into the computer system and stands next to Captain America. Imagine if that was Danger Zone from Top Gun.
No.
Yes.
No, that would be terrible.
Yes. Highway to the
That
Danger
wouldn't
Zone.
work. That wouldn't work. That would not work.
Mr. Stark, Captain. That would have been awesome. I would have loved that.
I would have hated that.
I would have loved it.
Age of Ultron though, I think.
Yes, move on to Age of Ultron. I think it's definitely an improvement.
Big improvement. I love the way that Ultron looks.
Yes.
And the way that he wants a flesh body, like the perfectness between flesh and human, and flesh and robots.
And the fact that Stark built him, I know that that's different than the comics. It's more Hank Pym than Tony Stark, but I think that for the MCU storyline, it works.
It works really well.
Because Hank Pym and the Ant-Man crew weren't introduced yet. That would have been the next movie after this.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would have worked very well.
Yeah.
So.
But I just love the introduction of Scarlet Witch or
Scarlet Witch, Wanda.
Yeah. And Quicksilver. Yeah. Which, did you know, for the longest time I thought Quicksilver's name was Flash.
They are very similar characters.
They're basically the same character.
Yeah.
Except Quicksilver dies.
Yeah, exactly.
That bit is terrible, and he just does it to save this one kid.
Yeah, and that is very, very... Like, I think that was a cool scene at the end where Hawkeye tries to save the kid, and then Quicksilver's like, oh, I better run over there because they're going to die, and then he quickly speeds there. He's like, you didn't see that coming? And then just falls over and dies.
But I think that I hated that because I loved Quicksilver.
Yeah, but then you get the guy that played him in the X-Men movies in WandaVision, so you can't really complain because I think that
is he in WandaVision?
Yeah.
Oh.
But the guy that played him in the X-Men movies.
Oh.
So they have a reason why he's the different actor from the X-Men movies, but because it's not the same Quicksilver from the X-Men movies as the MCU one, but the actor is the one from the X-Men movies. But they have an explanation on why he looks different. So
I was going to say something about it, but now I forgot.
I think that the fights improved a lot more since the first Avengers.
Yeah,
that opening fight scene, a strong way to open the movie.
And I love how I just love the flying airship.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense that you would want an airship that has planes on it.
Yeah.
Then you could just bring the giant airship in. There's no need. You just build a giant plane.
Exactly. So I
love the bit where it's just like and it's falling into the ground.
Yeah, I think that the first battle was a strong way to open the movie where they're in the snow and then you have all
and I love the scenes where and Cap throws
and the shield, but also throws the motorcycle like around his body.
Why? That's like $30 million just down his drain.
But not only that, he like somehow starts off there, flips his lower waist side off the bike, and then his top half is still on the bike, and then somehow he chucks the motorbike into the car.
It just doesn't
Like, it's cool, but it doesn't make sense.
But I also like the bit where he has a shield, right? And he's got Thor's hammer. And
yeah. Yeah, that's a bit questionable.
But the bet. We forgot to talk about the bet in 1. Where the bet about Thor's hammer.
No, that's in Age of Ultron.
Oh, that's in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
because we had the question yesterday. So if you guys have already seen the trivia, you guys know that. I think it was it my dad or was it?
It was your dad's.
Yeah. Okay. It was my dad. He got a question of. No, it was you because I watched it this morning.
Oh yeah, I answered it.
The celebration of these victories. Who hold?
Party.
Yeah. What do the Avengers have a small competition of? And it was Thor's hammer. So, I think that bit is hilarious.
It's like, because Iron Man's just like, it's a bet. It's like, it's just to scare people and make them not.
Yeah, it's just to make people think that people are not worthy.
And
the whole bit of like.
It's just super heavy. But it.
Yes, you want my team? Yeah. Okay, let's go. And they do the repulsor like boosters.
And he still can't move it. And then you've got Captain America who just went.
Who moves it and just goes ding, and then you even see Thor go, holy shit.
Which comes in the next one.
Well, 2 movies after.
2 movies after.
Endgame, yeah. But no, so I think that there's a lot of things that they improve with the second Avengers, like the fight scenes. I think that's more entertaining.
Sense.
It has more sense, but also you know these characters more than the first one, so you kind of.
Oh, and it doesn't go longer than it needs to go. Some bits in number 1 went a bit longer than it should have gone.
Yeah,
like the full explosion of that base went for like 5 minutes, and it should have gone for 2.
Yeah, and the same thing with the whole bit of Loki ejecting Thor in the Hulk's cage and falling down to the ground.
I don't remember that.
Well, because they originally had Loki in there.
In where?
In the cage that they're supposed to hold Hulk in the first Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's a point where he gets out.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets Thor trapped in there, and then he ejects it and falls down. And I think the bit where it's falling goes for a little too long, even though that might go for 2 minutes. Even that, I think, is a little too long.
It should have only gone for I'd say half a
I
minute.
think that they should have just done fall, you see the ejection, and it goes out of the ship.
And then you see
and then you see a little almost like a Looney Tune thing where you just see a dot going from big to small, and then a few scenes after that you cut to Thor on the ground.
Yeah, that's what should have happened, but they did too many close-ups.
Yeah, so I think that Age of Ultron does the right amount of there's your drink. Does your lingering on scenes that are emotional and matter to the overall story.
Yeah, and I think the next Avengers does that even better with
Infinity War. Yes.
Infinity War.
Yes, let's get into that.
That was amazing.
Yes. So the unique thing about this one is that we already had people like Cap, Thor, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hulk, Hawkeye, Loki, and all that kind of in an Avengers movie and meet up. But look, this one is a combination of Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, not Ant-Man really, not until the next one. What else? What other movies? Doctor Strange.
Yeah, you've got all of them. You've got all of these dudes. You've got this dude.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, so you have a lot of.
Oh, and these two dudes.
Well, no, they're not in. Yeah, they're not in until the next one.
Actually, only he's in it.
Yeah, but it's a combination of everything up until Black Panther. Oh, Black Panther's also in it, so Black Panther as well. Since we had that combination from everything until Black Panther, we now have more of a reason to go see it because it's a part 1 of 2.
Yeah, and who doesn't love a 2-part?
Exactly. So.
Oh no, and we've also got. We've also got the owner of this dude.
Oh, Captain Marvel's not until Endgame.
But still.
But yeah, but we can talk about that when we get to Endgame. But no, so I think Infinity War really works for how I don't want to say jumbled because they had all this storytelling to tie into it. But I think that if you just released it on its own, it would have been a jumbled mess.
Yeah.
And you would have been like, what the hell is going on? Why should I care about all 50 of these characters? Because you also have the side characters in it, like Wong and Pepper Potts and Happy Hogan, and even though that they don't have their core storylines, they still want to include everybody and tie all their storylines together.
And then when most of them get out of existence.
Yeah, I think...
Also, I just want to say this. Gamora when Gamora stabs Thanos and kills him, but actually gives him the Reality Stone, he makes his blood a orange, like his skin.
Yeah.
Because he thinks that's what his blood is, because he's never seen his blood. But when Iron Man, kicks him so many times he bleeds.
Yeah.
Well, his blood is red, so he's never seen his blood, because he thought his blood was purple.
Yeah.
Like his skin.
Yeah.
That's just a smart little detail.
Yeah, I think that's a cool little detail as well that I never really picked up on until you said. So I think that there's a lot of... I think that the battles... I mean, as much as I love the Age of Ultron battles, these are easily at the top of the list.
They're the best.
When they're at
and I love the Hulk.
Wakanda.
The Hulk thing where... The Loki death?
Yeah.
The Hulk...
That was shocking.
That was shocking. And I always thought that Loki would come back.
I would presume that he would at least team up with Thanos at least until the final battle.
Yeah, me too.
And then kind of turn him once they got to Wakanda, and then
he died.
Have that whole turn with Loki and do the whole sorry Thanos, but I'm with my brother. That's who I want to be with, and then he does. Then you have something like that to kill him. Even if you kill him the same way.
Even if you killed him in the same way, I would have liked to have seen his life prolonged. Yeah,
because it would be nice to have Loki more throughout Infinity War, because but even then we wouldn't have gone the Loki series, so
which I loved the Loki series.
Yeah, so that would have happened. That would have to happen. So, and I think that I love Spider-Man. He's my favourite superhero, and the way that they gave him the Iron Spider suit.
Oh, I love the Iron Spider suit.
I think it's really cool, and the fact that it still has the same power as the other movies, you see it more in Endgame, but the activate instant kill, and then has the whole spider legs coming out and killing people, and then you have the that first suit when he gets in, he's like, oh, it smells like a new car in here, Mr. Stark. And it's like, happy trails, kid. It's like, what? Oh my god! And the parachute comes out from Homecoming.
And then he basically, because he kind of has boosters.
Yeah.
And he basically does an Iron Man and just comes straight back up.
I think that was more because he webbed onto the back of the ship.
Yes, and it was just
because he's just kind of going I should have stayed on the bus as the door closes on him. But I think that Spider-Man is definitely a highlight of these next two Avengers movies. I hope that he's at least our lead.
We should start talking about the Battle of Wakanda.
Yes. Let's get into that.
Quick thing is that Hulk doesn't want to come out.
Yes, so that because
we also talked about that in our trivia yesterday.
Yes, we did. So there are some things, but I think we mentioned it more on Friday, but not on an episode, is that the reason why people have given the reason why the CGI looks a bit clunky to some people is because that originally they want Professor Hulk to jump out of the Hulkbuster suit when fighting that guy. I forgot the dude's actual name. I know that
it was like a bird.
I know that there was Ebony Moore and Proxima Midnight and Corbus Blade. I forgot the big Hulk one, but yeah. So when he was fighting him, Professor Hulk was meant to jump out there and start fighting, but they had to kind of I won't be surprised if they did what they did with Ragnarok, where they rotoscoped it and originally had one scene, but they CGI'd around the Hulk and made him the Hulkbuster. So I think that there were a lot of scenes in there that were Hulk, but they had to CGI Hulkbuster to have that reveal happen in Endgame. But I think that the Wakanda battle, the Battle of Wakanda, is
amazing. But I hate the bit because there's no Tony Stark on that, which kind of annoys me.
Yeah, but they're on the Titan battle, so it's not like that.
They're
cutting backwards and forwards.
I hate the bit where they snapped, and it's like
snapped his fingers.
And snapped his fingers. Yeah. It's like, Mr. Stark, I feel sick, and just goes.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. Yeah, and he's even like, I'm sorry, and then dusts us out of his arms. That's.
It's so sad.
Yeah, that
I hate the battle of Wakanda for that. Except there's one thing that I do love. Is that you know Falcon?
Yeah.
When he's flying along and then he snaps.
Yeah.
There's this big thing where his wing gets like evaporated before it. So he's flying straight and then it just goes.
Well, no, he's on the ground and then he disappears and then you see War Machine in the background going, Sam! Even though that he's right in front of him, dusting. And that's the bit where it's like, okay, sure, he didn't say Sam until after he was dusted, but he could have easily looked down and go like, oh, there's Sam. So it's very much like, oh, what? But like they had to do that for the story to go forward and the confusion of what was happening. I think the most shocking one was Bucky though. Because Bucky was the first one to go and go like, Steve, and then you just slowly see the dusting, then he somehow falls to the ground but doesn't hurt himself and the gun just goes on the ground and Steve does this like look of like, really? I lost Bucky again? And it's like, oh shit, and then you see like everyone kind of going away and then that leads to Endgame. So
I think that was what I was thinking of. Because I know one of the Avengers kind of fell over but didn't hurt themselves because they evaporated before they hit the ground.
Yeah, that's.
I thought that was Falcon.
Yeah, that's Bucky in Infinity War. But no, so I think this leads us into Endgame. But we have let's go through the heroes. We have Iron Man on Titan, Nebula on Titan.
On Titan.
Yeah, so those are the only two on Titan.
They're not on. No, because Rocket's also there.
No, he's in Wakanda because Groot gets dusted because they went with Thor to get the hammer.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, so those are the only two on Titan.
But they're not on Titan. They actually go into space.
Yeah,
Drax is also there.
No, but he disappears.
No.
Yeah, because the only Guardians that are in Endgame are Nebula and Rocket getting everyone back. Because Drax gets dusted.
There's two humans that could die in Endgame. No, sorry. When you know in the spaceship scene where everybody's in where there's two people dying of oxygen.
Yeah, that's Nebula and Tony.
No, because Nebula is a robot.
Yeah, but those are the only two. So technically, Iron Man is the only one dying from oxygen.
But I swear that was someone else.
No, that was Nebula.
Huh. I always thought there was three people there, and then one of them didn't appear until like.
Yeah, no, because Rocket was there when Nebula and Iron Man came off the ship.
Oh yeah, and I always thought that he was on it with them.
Yeah, no, but yeah, so because they're the only two Guardians there, and they kind of hold hands like we've lost.
Yeah.
So, and then on Wakanda we have what? Black Widow, Cap, Bruce Banner, War Machine, Rocket. Is that all? So just those. And then we realise in Endgame that we have... No, Falcon's dusted. And then we realise in Endgame that we also have Captain Marvel and Hawkeye.
And
Ant-Man.
And also
Because he was in the quantum realm from Ant-Man.
And it was 5 years, and he said it was only 5 minutes.
Yes. So before No Way Home came out, this was easily my favourite MCU movie.
Yeah.
Because it dealt with the grief of after Infinity War and how we're going to give all this a second chance.
But I would just say that it's really funny in the second Spider-Man movie, Far From Home.
Far From Home.
How so many people, like, remember that kid who was like, that my brother was 2 years younger than me, and now is 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
And it's just like... Oh.
Yeah, and that's the rules of that. So I think that even though that, honestly, the first time I saw it, I was kind of shocked how much they didn't use Captain Marvel. Because they had her movie right before this, and they marketed her as like, this is one of the heroes that's going to be driving this movie with Ant-Man and the original Avengers and Rocket and Nebula.
But no.
No, so she's only really in like, what? So the first 15 minutes, she's in that scene.
Where in the hologram.
In the hologram before Natasha and Steve start talking about peanut butter sandwiches. Yeah. Yeah, because that's what she's eating, and then when Ant-Man comes, he's like, oh, is that what someone's sandwich? I'm starving, and he starts eating it.
Because he hasn't eaten in 5 years.
Well, to him it was 5 hours.
Yeah.
But
5 minutes.
No, it was 5 hours in the quantum realm. But no, so then after that, she's in the final battle, and that's it. Yeah, she's in the final battle and that's it. Other than those 3 bits, she's out of the movie. But I think that it was great to celebrate, because at that point it was 10 years of Marvel. So it was great to have the red 10 years in the Marvel logo.
Yeah.
And then have the time travel scene.
Oh, I love the time travel, and it just makes so much sense.
Going to the first Avengers and going to the final battle and seeing stuff that happened after that movie that we didn't get to see, like the whole thing of Loki messing up with Steve Rogers and all of that, and Loki smacking the prison thing onto Loki's mouth before the shot that they go with the Tesseract and pull it and get sent up to Asgard.
Yeah.
And before they get shawarma at the end of the first Avengers.
Shawarma?
Yeah, so, because Tony Stark wakes up in the first Avengers, it's like, oh, there's a shawarma place right down the street. Does anyone want to try it? And then the post-credit scene is them eating shawarma.
What is shawarma?
Shawarma's like it's a food. The fact that they go back to that, and they go back to the first Guardians, and and we see the whole "Come and get your love,"
and
and then Rhodey and Nebula are looking at him, and then you get to the bit where it doesn't have any music. And he's like, "Come and get your love," and he's like, "No," so he's an idiot.
Yeah.
And then they punch him in the face and knock him out.
It's very funny.
And then we also go to Volmia in 2014, which we've never seen before. So this is before... 2014.
With the Red Skull.
Yeah, so we go there, and this is before, because Infinity War takes place in like 2018, so that is before Thanos and Gamora win, technically.
Yeah.
So we go there, and then we also go... Asgard. Asgard in 2013, and that was a...
And then we get Thor's hammer back.
Yes, he gets hammer back because he doesn't think that he's worthy, but his mother's going like, kind of whispering, as Rocket's going like, alright, in 3, 2, and he's like, oh no, wait, and he holds his hand, then...
Well, actually, he doesn't take it back.
Yeah, so it's like, at least a question. Was the other Thor fighting with that hammer?
Yeah.
Because otherwise he's just funny. He's like,
do you know
where did my hammer go?
Do you know what would be really funny?
It's like he just threw it to go around and knock some people out, and then that other Thor just put his hand out to catch it.
No, do you know what would be really funny if he was holding it at the time and it went... Yeah, and then he would just
and then he just like goes like that love and thunder bit, like Mjolnir! And it's like where? It's either it was sitting down somewhere where Thor wasn't touching it, or he was fighting with it and just randomly went to the other Thor.
I was just imagine if he was holding it and just flew with it.
Yeah, that would have been funny. But you can't I think you can't talk to your younger self, which Cap was the only exception. But that was funny. It's America's ass. And then
wow, I do have America's ass.
Yeah, and then you have what else do you have? You also have the 1940s bunker.
Yes. With the super soldier serum.
With not Bucky, Peggy and Howard Stark.
We don't see Peggy.
Yeah, we do.
Oh.
Yeah, because when
I guess I didn't know Peggy when I first watched that movie.
Yeah, because Steve goes in because he's trying to hide, if you remember, because he's him and Tony are getting not arrested, but these people are going down, going like, oh, this guy sounded really not nihilistic because he talked to them in the elevator on the way up.
And they sounded different.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that chick was talking to these security people, going like, yeah, these guys were really naive in the elevator, because she was like, are you from here? And he's like, no, exactly. It's like a long time ago or something. And then so Steve shuts the door and he sees the picture of his younger self before he took the super soldier serum.
Yeah.
It's
not the super soldier serum.
And how thin he was. And then he looks up and he sees Peggy, because Peggy's yelling at someone behind the window.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so after that, what? So they try and get Thanos brings back the ship because somehow got Pym particles onto the ship.
John, no, they kind of, because you know how they've got the tiny, they do it in, you know how they make, to, punch, Star-Lord, they have to get the ship and shrink it.
Yeah.
Well, I think they saw that ship and I think they might have attached something to it. And it shrunk with it.
Yeah, they would have to attach the Pym particles onto the ship, because the reason why they shrunk is because they had Pym particles in their belts.
No, because the ship shrunk because it was basically they were. It's a thing when something shrinks and it's touching something else, it shrinks with it.
Yeah.
So if they if they had launched like a grappling hook at the other ship, it would have shrunk with it. Yeah,
okay.
So that's what I think happened.
Yeah, because so one thing we didn't mention before that was that Nebula gets switched with the other Nebula.
And gets
the evil Nebula, and then while they all bring back everyone and Hulk's trying to snap his fingers.
We also didn't talk about in the last movie how Gamora dies.
Oh yeah, she did get thrown off, and then that's how Black Widow gets cut off in this one.
So Black Widow gets thrown off and killed.
Yeah.
And so does Gamora, so that they can get the Soul Stone.
Yeah. So then they're trying to get everyone back, and everyone's trying to. I mean, Hulk's trying to snap his fingers, and Nebula programs the portal to get Thanos' ship through.
Yeah.
And goes off into the sky, and of course they don't hear it because they're more concerned about Hulk and the noise that's happening in that room, because everyone's yelling and that sort of stuff. And then everyone, the starships just start shooting at Avengers campus, blowing it all up, and everyone gets trapped, and then
Spider-Man. No, and then you guys
and then everyone.
You see Doctor Strange, and he's just going.
Yeah, which, Thor, Hulk, and Iron Man's Thor, Iron Man, and Cap start fighting them, and then it comes to a point where Cap's the only one standing. And then you hear the Cap Cap, can you hear me? Cap, it's Sam, can you hear me? On your left, and then you see the portals open.
Who's Sam?
Falcon.
Ah.
Yeah. So then you hear, because on your left is a callback to Winter Soldier when they're doing their exercise running. And then what? So the first portal we see is Black Panther, Shuri, and Okoye, and the Black Panther army coming through.
And then you see Spider-Man and...
Then you see the Guardians and Doctor Strange, and then Spider-Man's the last one that swings in.
No, but also there's Sam. Lands. But you also see Sam.
Oh yeah, that's before that, because he comes out of the Wakanda portal and then kind of reveals the rest of the portals.
There's Sam and Groot that come out first. Oh no.
Right. No, I think that's a little later where Groot comes out with Bucky.
Oh yeah, Groot and Bucky come out.
Yeah, because but then we also realise that this is not just the people that were dead. Valkyrie comes into it.
You see the people on unicorns.
Yeah, so which are Pegasus.
Same thing.
Yeah, and then
you think they'd be like no, but they're full-on killing machines.
Yeah, exactly, and then you finally get Cap saying Avengers Assemble after being teased.
I know, and did you know?
After being teased throughout in Age of Ultron, just going Avengers, and then credits roll.
But did you know that no one could really hear it? So when he said Avengers,
and then
Spider-Man
started running and ran like 30 feet.
And ran like 30 feet, then
funny.
realised that nobody else was running. And then
like, sorry guys.
And then went back and then and then he said assemble and everybody ran.
Yeah, that was funny.
Because nobody could really hear what he was saying because there were so many people.
Yeah, that was funny. So we get the final battle. There's not, I mean, if we just watched the movie, we would have a lot more to say, but we're covering all 4 movies, so this is going to be kind of short. We will do individual movies at some point. But, no, so then we finally get Wasp and Ant-Man. They're going to go to the van and set the time travel quantum realm up.
Right.
Because it got deattached.
Yeah, and then this was super sad.
They're trying to.
Then they've got Captain America who goes back and puts all the Infinity Stones back. At the very end.
Yes, that's at the end. But also, they're trying to keep the bad guys away from the gauntlet. So, the Iron Gauntlet. So, like, it's pretty much the Infinity Gauntlet, but it's the Iron Man one. So they're all like running with that. So, and then there's a bit where Spider-Man like gets on top of a bunch of I guess it's the Chitauri, because the Chitauri is also involved. Bonkers. I did not realise that until the ships came in the final battle the first time I watched it. But no, so then the Black Order like Venom alien things start attacking him, and Cap's like hang on Queens, and throws the hammer, and then Spider-Man web zips onto the hammer, and then it's like he's flying with the hammer with his web, and then lands off it, and then he passes to Black Panther and
then there's
Hawkeye,
also the bit where
and then he goes on to Valkyrie's Pegasus, and it's like hi, nice to meet you. Oh my god!
And then it's a reference to Age of Ultron, where Thor gets his shield and goes, and no, sorry, Captain America goes, and Thor throws his hammer at the shield, and it destroys like in a like I'd say 10-meter radius circle.
Because he also does the thing where he throws the hammer and the shield at the same time, and they go boonk, and then boonk, boonk. And it's very much like Venom, where it's like the noise is his weakness. So Thanos going like ah, and then So then it comes to a point where where Doctor Strange points up a finger to Iron Man and is like saying this is the one way that we defeat him. And then Iron Man, you see Iron Man get knocked to the ground, so you're like, what the hell? They're gonna lose again? What the hell was the point? And then see Thanos going, I am inevitable. Snap his fingers, and then
nothing happens.
Nothing happens. All it is just a little ting from the Iron Gauntlet, and then you see.
No, you can't actually snap with. It doesn't make a sound if you're wearing a.
Well, it's a metal. Yeah, but it's a metal one, so you can just hear a ting. But then you see the 6 Infinity Stones going up Iron Man's gauntlet, and just going onto his nanotech hands.
And then he says, I am Iron Man.
Reference to the first movie in 2008 that we've already covered. Love it.
And then he says, I'm Iron Man at the end of the first movie.
Yes.
It says, I'm Iron Man. Basically, when he becomes Iron Man, he says that. And when he doesn't...
Yeah.
Like, does the opposite of that. I don't know what that would be called. Yeah,
so then after that...
he
dies, and then we see his funeral.
And we see that proof that Tony Stark.
We see that everyone from the Marvel movies is there. The Guardians, the Ant-Man crew, including Hank Pym and Janet, the kid from Iron Man 3 that we talked about yesterday. He still hasn't seen Iron Man 3. We need to do a review of that when he's seen it.
Yeah.
But and then we see the Avengers. We see Captain Marvel there. We see Nick Fury there.
We see Pepper Potts and his kid.
Yep. We see Happy.
Happy Hogan.
Yep. And then after that, we will be skipping some stuff. But then Hulk reveals that you need to take these Infinity Stones exact timeline that they were at the exact moment. So then, of course, they're Bucky and Falcon get their goodbyes to Cap, but in a way that they don't really know if he's coming back or not, but they would presume that he's coming back. But Bucky definitely knew that he was going, because he wasn't shocked that he saw Old Man Cap sitting there by the lake.
Oh, also, did you know that Captain America actually looks over to the lake quickly to see if it's the right decision, to see if it works and doesn't disrupt the timeline.
Yeah, and then
you've got Old Man Cap sitting there, and he sees it, and he's like, well, this is the thing that I do.
Yeah, exactly. So then Falcon goes like, how long is this going to take? It's like for us, like 5 seconds. For him, however long it takes. And then...
So he presses the button, and it goes... Whoop.
And then he goes...
And then after like 5 seconds, they press the button again, and he doesn't...
And then we don't see Cap. And then we see Old Man Steve Rogers. So that leaves the question, was that Steve Rogers in that same timeline?
Yes.
The whole time?
Yes, I think that was... And I think that Peggy Carter and Steve Rogers...
Because that means that Cap has already been through all the crap that this Captain America has been through.
Yeah.
And he's already lived his life with Peggy. And so I guess it's a little less weird if retroactively he's been there since Winter Soldier, where we see old girl Peggy, but also it's weird that she's having an affair with both Old Man Steve Rogers and his younger self.
No, I think. Do you know what I think? I think he went back to the moment where he left
and brought Old Man Steve Rogers back to that timeline, and then he went back.
Who? Oh no! I think that he went back. He stayed in the same timeline, but he went, after putting all the Infinity Stones back, he went back to the exact same time where that plane crashed.
Yeah.
And, relived his life. And then after Peggy had gone out looking for him, went to Peggy.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, I think, I mean, that's never, I guess never, not to say that didn't confuse me, but that never bugs me as much as it has previously when I've seen videos going like, how long has that Cap been there in that timeline? Because you could only have one of yourself, because you can never interact with your younger or older self depending on the timeline. So, and then what? So then we see Peggy and Steve dancing.
Yep.
At the end of that, and then this is why I decided to sit down for the credits. We get the Avengers theme and their signatures with quotes from the other movies.
I think I skipped I didn't watch the credits.
Oh really?
Usually I do.
I might need to show you a clip of that. But no, and then you see the signatures of Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Jeremy Renner, and Scarlett Johansson. Even though that some of them have done movies after Endgame, but this was mainly Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr.'s farewell to Marvel and Scarlett Johansson's. So I think that was one of those cool things of seeing the way that they did the lighting of that credits, and then they had their photos in shadow, and then you see clips from all the Captain America movies, all the Avengers movies, all the Iron Man movies, all the Hulk movies, and the Thor movies and stuff. Just, well, not necessarily the Hulk movie, because that's a different Hulk and a different design Hulk than what the MCU has used previously. But like, seeing those movie clips and stuff was just so cool. Seeing a shadow figure come in the frame, and then their signature, and then their non-signature at either side, their first name on one side, then their last name on the other side. That was just so cool seeing that, and then watching this in the theater made me, I kid you not, made me fangirl squeal. I kid you not. And of course, because I didn't want to look like a buffoon, my friend would just kind of turn to me, and I'm just kind of quietly letting myself go. When as soon as Captain Avengers assemble and you see everyone run off, I'm going like. And then my friends just kind of turn to me and starts giggling. So that was awesome watching that in the theater, and watching everything, because I started watching movies from Civil War up to Endgame. So Phase 3 I was starting to watch them in the theater, but seeing the conclusion was so cool in the theater, and watching that now, even though that might be a little bit dated because you're kind of used to the way that Marvel is now.
Yeah.
But I think that is such a perfect way to end the Infinity Saga, and if the MCU ended there, I think it would have been fine, but then you wouldn't get things like Fantastic Four and X-Men coming soon.
Yeah, which I think will be amazing. And we wouldn't get the Loki TV show.
Yes.
And believe me, I cannot watch Marvel TV shows, but I could watch Loki.
We need to get you to WandaVision. That's a travesty.
Episode 1 and episode 2 were terrible.
Yeah, I think that I love the sitcom stuff, but I think that the actual storyline you'll like more as it goes on, and they start to figure stuff out of what's happening. But no, so that was a long review of the Avengers movies. I can't see the time right now.
I think it might have been like 27 minutes.
Yeah, so we won't do the sell-out stuff. We need to end it now, but we'll see you guys next time.
Please help smash that subscribe button and that and Puny Bruce banner, that tiny little bell.
Yes, so we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.